morning. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. Excuse me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? For those of y'all that know me, I'm conscious. To those of y'all that don't know me, I'm conscious. The husband of the chosen one by Ashley. My wife is also in attendance here today, but she's dealing with something at the moment. But today, I'm going to talk about don't be so quick to judge. God said to show love. I'm going to say that again. Today's subject is don't be so quick to judge. God said show love. It's very important because it's like this with the way the world is, it's like for so many years, and for so many years, we went through life stuck on watching people judge each other. We went through life on not understanding other people's situations. We look because we were raised a certain way, we think a certain way. Everybody's situations are different. So instead of us trying to understand and relate to others, we shy away. We always sit there and look at their situation and think that we're better, but we're not. In the Bible, in the Bible, I'm sure y'all have heard this before. It says only God could judge me, which is true. But it's very true. Only God can judge you. But at the same time, it also says love thy neighbor. You're supposed to love thy neighbor. You're supposed to love the people that you see every day. You're supposed to have some type of love for them. You don't have to know them. It could be a stranger. You don't have to love them like as if you have to be around them every day and everything. But you at least should show somebody respect. If somebody respects you, you respect them back. See, the issue is and the problem is we're so quick to look down on everybody else because of somebody's situation. But the thing about it is, you don't know what that person's situation is or what they're going through. Who are you? How can you judge somebody else if you don't know their situation? Just because you got money, like for example, I'll give y'all an example of what I'm talking about. For example, you could be in a grocery store right now. You could have just paid for your groceries. Your groceries might cost $200. You getting ready to leave out the store or whatnot. And before you leave out the store, you got to go back and get something else and get back in line real quick. So when you get back in line, you see that somebody goes up to the register, the same register you was just on. You see the person that was behind you are trying to pay for their groceries, so they can't afford to pay for their groceries. It's like, oh, this is cost this much. So they sit there and they pay for the groceries with the card, and it says the card is declined, so they don't have money. And you sit there, you frown, you just like, that's a goddamn on shame. That's judging. People are looking there and say that's a shame. That's being judgmental. But you don't know that person's situation. You don't know. Maybe the bank might have made a mistake when it come out to their car. You don't know or understand the situation, but you're so quick to judge just because of the fact that you were able to pay for your groceries because you were able to get things done. That's an example of what I mean by judging others. See, the problem is we're so quick to judge one another instead of uplift each other. See, the thing about it is, if we're going to, when you put on this earth, you put on this earth for a purpose. I say that a lot on these other lives that I've done for my wife. When I'm not present with my wife, when my wife's not present with me, I've said it before. God put us on this earth for a purpose. Everybody has a purpose to serve on this earth, right? Everybody has a purpose. So also you got to understand that even though you have a different purpose in life, there is a different reason. So when there's a different reason, let me tell you what I mean. When you have a reason and a purpose to serve, you're supposed to do something to spread out God's love. You're supposed to do something to spread out God's purpose, right? So what I mean by that is whatever your talents are, you're supposed to use your talents to spread more things for God. We're supposed to be helping God. That's what you're put here to do. You're put here to help God in different kind of ways. See, there's a war outside. So at the end of the day, by you having these different purposes and these different talents, and you're supposed to be helping, and you're supposed to be using them to help God, you're supposed to be helping to bring more people closer to God. So when you're sitting there and you're judging people, instead of Instead of helping God, you're shying people away from God. That negativity, when you're doing things like judging people, that's negativity. And see, the negativity is dark stuff. That's darkness right there. There's a lot of darkness when you spread negativity. So if you're spreading negativity instead of spreading positivity, then what are you really doing? That means that you are doing the devil's work. You are doing the devil's work. You're not doing God's work. You're doing the devil's work. How can you judge somebody? How do you know? You don't. And then the thing about it is, you got to understand, God is watching every move that you make in life. Everything that you do in life, God is watching you. Because if you, no matter what you do, when you're sitting there and you're judging people, if you treat people bad, and you doing all these things just because you're in a good position or you're in a good situation in life, and you're sitting there, you're laughing at people, you're looking down on people, you're being rude to people, you're doing this, you're not appreciating the things that you have and stuff like that. Guess what? As fast as God gives something to you, God will take it away from you because of the fact that you're using the things that you're given to destroy others. Destroying others is what the devil do. You don't want to do the devil's work. You're here to do God's work. And your situation can change. The tables turn. You got to understand in life, tables turn. The tables can turn. They can turn real quick. So if the tables turn and they flip and you're down and out, do you want somebody looking at you and judging you? No, you don't. See, the thing about it is, you never know when you're going to need somebody. You never know it. You could be right now, something could happen right now. You could have just got into an accident and you could have been drunk or something. You know what I'm saying? And you don't even know that you're in that accident. So somebody come and they get up to you and they see what's going on. They see that you're all drunk. If they were so quick to judge and just be like, that's a goddamn shame, that quick moment of judging could cost you your life. But if somebody's looking past the judgment of what caused you to get into that accident, they could pull you out the car. See, that's what I mean. Not judging others could change somebody's situation in life. If you look past somebody's situation and try to help them instead, you can really make somebody's day. You can really help change somebody's life. And if you do that and you help change somebody's day, you help change somebody's life, they can uplift somebody else. And that is how God becomes more powerful. That's how his purpose spread more and more. Because when you help somebody, then they want to help somebody. And it continues on. See, the thing about it is, we're all put here to uplift. We're supposed to uplift one another. See, in this generation, the problem is we're so quick to sit there and either try to keep up with the Joneses, or we're sitting there and we're quick to look down on other people. We always like, that's a goddamn shame. Look at how they dress. This, that, the third, da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? Some people always want to sit there and wear designer this, designer that. But you sitting there, you looking at a situation thinking just because they got designer, they got money. No, you don't never know. A person can wear designer, but they wasn't able to pay their rent. A person could wear designer, but they wasn't even able to have $1 in their pocket to buy some food. You know what I'm saying? But you sitting there and praising them because of the fact that they got on designer. At the end of the day, you don't know their situation. You don't know the whole time that they could be broke. They could just be sitting there and doing that because that's an insecurity. A lot of people, and that's another thing. A lot of people are so quick to judge others because of insecurity. Everybody has a reason why they do certain things, but a lot of times people judge other people because they're insecure within themselves. They laugh. That's the same reason, but it's just like when you used to go to school. You used to go to school back in high school, junior high, and elementary. There was a such thing called bullies. You know what I'm talking about. There was bullies, the people that sit there and laugh at you, try to beat you up or try to do different things. They had the reasons why these bullies were in our schools and try to do things to people was because they had problems at home, because they were insecure within their selves. So they sat there, try to beat up people, laugh at them, look down on them, just because of the simple fact that they were insecure. That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing right now when people get older. It's another form of bullying, just in a different kind of way. You're not supposed to bully people. We're supposed to uplift. We're supposed to sit there and try to do something different. That's the thing. We were put here for a purpose. You're supposed to use your purpose to make a difference in this world. How can you make a difference in this world if you're putting down the next person? How can you? You ain't making a difference in this world. You're spreading negativity. And that's the thing. We're supposed to be trying to help God. We're supposed to be helping God. There's enough negativity in this world right now. You see the way the world is right now? There's so much sin going on in the world. There's so many bad things going on in this world. It's like we already living in hell on earth. That's exactly why God is doing what he's doing to this world. So in the end of the day, we're supposed to be trying to help God to get stronger. God is already coming back. God is doing different things. So in order to help God, and in order for us to win this war that is going on, we're supposed to be helping God to bring others closer to him. But you can't do that if you're so quick to judge. You don't, like I said, you don't know nobody else's situation. Your situation probably isn't perfect. You sitting there, you just laughing at somebody, you doing all this stuff and whatever. Yeah, you might have a little bit of money, but there might be something else going on in your life. Might be something else going on in your life that might be bad. You never know. So all I'm saying is, in the end of the day, don't always be so quick to judge somebody else. Help. If somebody look like they're down and out in a situation, help them. Help change their situation. Because like I said, if you help somebody else, they're going to want to help somebody else. That's what it's all about. It's about uplifting. God didn't put us here to destroy. God put us here to uplift and change. Because you were down and out at one point. You were going through something at one point in your life, and you needed somebody to be there for you. And that person who was there for you was not a person who was quick to look down on your situation and judge you. Somebody who helped you because they wanted to see you do better. They didn't just look down on your situation and say, oh, this don't make no sense, or this is ridiculous, or nothing. They sat there and said, you know what? I'm going to help. We all needed help at some point in our life. We all needed help. Everybody needed help. I don't care what nobody says. Don't sit there and be like, I never needed nobody. See, everybody always trying to quick to say, I'm so self-made. I'm this, I'm that. No, you ain't self-made. At some point in time, to get to where you at, you needed somebody's help to get where you at. And you wouldn't be where you're at in life, or you wouldn't be doing better in life if that person who helped you to get where you at looked down on you or was quick to judge you. You would be stuck, or probably wouldn't even be moving forward, or even gotten close to where you're at. So that's why it's important not to judge other people. We'll let my wife talk to y'all for a second. Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to The Chosen One by Ashley. Welcome. I hope that y'all having a great day. Yes, it's important that we don't judge people. I have a Bible verse I was looking up when my husband was talking, and it says in 1 John 4:7, it says, dear friends, now this is God saying this. He says, dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God. Everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God. So it tells you right there, when you get a chance, go back and read 1 John 4:7. God want us to love one another. He want us to help each other. We have to be able to lift each other up. We have to be able to build each other. We cannot be, living in this world, going back and forth and hating off of shoes and clothes and just hating off each other, because hating and being jealous is not going to get you nowhere at all. You have to be able to pray. Whatever you want in this world, you can pray and ask God, is it for you? If it's not for you, God is not going to allow you to touch it. Some of you are touching things that you shouldn't be touching, and you're trying to do things that you shouldn't do. And it's important that you allow God to help you in that way, in the things that you're trying to do, because sometimes you just have to be careful. You just have to be careful for nothing in this world. And we just have to be careful how we talk about people, because what you say to people, it could be 5 years from now. The same person that you were smart and being disrespectful to is the same person that could be tying your shoes. Is the same person you may have to give money to. Is the same person you may have to bless. So you have to be careful when you judge people, because judging others You know, oh, look at your toilet. Look at the way that person brushed their teeth. Look at the way that person, you know, they come to school and they stink. You don't know why that person come to school every day stinking like that. Maybe they being abused in their household. Maybe something going on. You just don't know why people look the way they look. So it's important that we pray for one another. You got to pray for your brother, pray for your sister in Christ. You know, it's important that we lift each other up and we keep God first, because you never know. I remember one time I had a DoorDasher that came. I had $20 in my purse, and I blessed her with it, because instead of me thinking about my own self, you know, yeah, I could have used the money, but I said, you know what? I see what they doing, but you know, sometimes you can't judge people. You can't judge them just because they look or the way they smell. I said, here, take this $20. Go buy yourself, you know, something to eat. Sometimes it's okay to be nice. It's okay to help our neighbors out, because you never know. Maybe people don't have money. People don't have stuff. Just because they look good on the outside don't mean that they good on the inside. So, I mean, me, I'm a blessing hand. That's what I do. If I feel like giving, I will give to people. You know, that's just my heart. I love to give to people. I love to help others. And you know, growing up, you know, yeah, we all had judged people in our past. I know I have. And, you know, it wasn't a good feeling, because when it came back to me, it hit me. So I learned how to, you know, guard my mouth. You know, anything that you have a problem with, you need to give it to God. Whatever the problem is, if you got a mouth issue, if you got a problem talking about people, if you got a problem just putting people down, you got to be careful with that, because the Bible tells us what you said to other, it's going to become your own measure back to you, because you have to be very careful what you speaking on people. You wishing them to die, you wishing all this crazy stuff, and you judging them and all this, and you think God is not going to get you. Your day is coming. Your day is coming. You got to be careful what you say. You know, you did something to somebody, you better start repenting now, so God can forgive you, because, you know, his eye not closed, his eyes watching you. And it's important that you put God first and be careful with your words, because your words is hurting somebody. And we got to learn how to be respectful. We have to learn how to be nice to one another. We also have to learn how to give people hugs. You never know. I know that person may be a stranger, but it's okay to give a person a hug. You can get them a side hug. You ain't got to be all close up on them. It's okay to give people a hug. You know, one time this lady had walked up to me and she was crying, and I gave her a hug and she calmed down. It's important that we uplift each other, because we all go through pain. We all go through frustration. You know, we all go through life. We all go through trials and tribulations, but you know, we have to learn how to stop judging one another. We have to learn how to speak life into each other. Speaking life into each other is very important, because you just never know what's on that person's mind. By you saying something, you change their thoughts. You change the way that they was getting ready to do something. You know, it's just important that we pray for one another and just allow God to help others. You know, all you can do is just pray, stop judging people, because you don't know their story. You know, you just don't know what people going through on the inside of their household. They could be going through all this yelling and screaming, abuse, and all this stuff going on. It's just important that we be respectful. Being respectful can go a long way. And may God, you know, help you guard your mouth. Hi, Miss Letitia. God bless you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate that donation you gave me last night. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes. Hi, everyone. Please thumbs up the live if you can. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. Yes, me and my husband is on here today. Yes. God bless you. Yes, God is good. Please thumbs up the live. There's 6 people in here. Yes, I appreciate you. I appreciate the ones that's helping me out. If you know what I'm talking about, go to my community post. Go check it out. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love y'all. Yeah.
Hello, Miss Letitia. How you doing? Good to see you, Miss Letitia. As always, you always tuning in our lives. We appreciate you. Um, so as I was saying earlier, for those of y'all who's been on here, still on here from earlier, started off with me. Uh, Judging others is just a bad thing. See, the thing about it is you gotta look at it like this. If you're so quick to judge somebody else and you don't know this situation, you don't know what that person is really going through. You don't know. They can be losing family members back to back. They can be going through abuse in their home. They could have been growing up all their life being told that they're not nobody. And they could be on the edge right now thinking that they want to take their life. They could be living their life in sin. They could be doing things that they don't want to do to get by just because you see them come in and they look like, oh, they got this big old robe on covering up their body or whatever, but you could see kind of through the side of the robe that they got on the thong or something like that. You don't know. Be like, that's a goddamn old shame dressing like that. Or they might be dressed a certain type of way. You be like, that's a goddamn old shame dressed like that. You don't know why that person dresses like that. You don't understand. You don't know their situation. You don't know what they're doing to survive. Everybody's situation in life is different. So you can't sit there and look down on somebody because the thing that you say to somebody, the word that you say to somebody might impact the rest of that person's life. Like I said, you might sit there and just whisper out your ear like they stink. And that person might hear you say that they stink. And they've been told that, but mentally they're messed up. They're going through abuse when they go home or something like that, being beat up by their husband or their husband degrading them or been physically abusing them and taking them through so much to the point that they have no faith in life and they're ready to take their life. And because people been telling them they stink or because people been telling them, oh, you're not going to be nobody and all that stuff, all of a sudden they hear that from you, that one little word. And then all of a sudden they end up taking their life. That can change something. You don't know what somebody else is going through. You have to be very careful with your words because the thing about it is the mouth. I was always told this. I used to always be told this by my mother. My mother used to always say this to me. She used to always say this to me when I was younger. She always said, "Be careful what you say." When you say things about yourself, be careful what you say when you say things to others. Because when you say these things, you could possibly speak them into existence. Or the things that you say can possibly impact other people. She always told me, she said, the mouth is a powerful weapon. Sometimes I tell my wife that when she be speaking, I be like, wow, when you speaking, you're so careful with your words. And I say, you know why you're careful with your words when you speak on these lives? And my wife said, well, why, honey? I said, because you are very powerful and the things that you say are powerful. So that's why when you're speaking and you're saying certain things to the people when you're on these lives, you're careful about what you say. My wife was like, honey, you're right, you know? Because in the end of the day, like I said, the mouth is a powerful weapon. Like I said before, you at one point in time was going through something and needed somebody's help. If that person was quick to judge you, would you have gotten that help? If that person was quick to judge you, would you have gotten far? No. You would have still been hurting. You would have still been going through that. We all need somebody. The thing about it is in life, we're supposed to uplift one another. We're so busy trying to be better than everybody else, worried about what somebody else has, worried about what somebody else is doing, that we don't even focus on the good things that we had. We don't even focus on, trying to better ourselves or trying to help somebody else better themselves. We always looking at people's situations. We're so stuck on what everybody else is doing, trying to play keep up. That's another thing. I'm gonna switch routes on. Yeah, I'm gonna switch routes for a second. Why is everybody trying to play keep up these days? Why are you trying to play keep up these days? You got your own problems at home. You got your own situations at home. So it's like, why are y'all sitting there worried about what somebody else is doing? You worried about somebody because they got a good husband at home. Maybe you don't have a husband yet. You're like, oh, I want that for myself or whatever. I ain't gonna never have that. So because you don't have a husband yet, or because a man don't have a wife yet, you sitting there, you beating yourself up, and you're being depressed because you ain't gotten it yet, and your friend looks so happy and da. So you sitting there beating yourself up instead of focusing on reality and what you got going on in life. Maybe you see somebody with money. Maybe somebody in your group has money and always able to do, but you're struggling with your bills sometimes. But you're paying your bills. You have the roof over your head. Everything is straight, but you are struggling sometimes to get it done. But somebody in your circle has money and can have it all, but you don't know what they had to do to get that money. Everybody don't always tell everything. But you're so quick to sit there and look at their situation and think that you want what they have. But you don't know what that person is doing to get that money. You don't know what the impact of them and what they're doing is causing on their life. You have to stop worrying about what other people is doing. Focus on where you're at in life. God put you where you're at for a reason. You were given your route that you are taking in life for a reason. I was just talking to, I'm going to tell y'all something. I was just talking to my brother the other day, right? And me and my brother, we were chopping it up, having a conversation. And I told my brother, I said, I do go through my ups and downs. I do have my days when I'm going through this. I do have my days with this. But I am okay with it because I know that I am walking through the storm for a reason. I said some people who are the most successful people in life have had to walk through the storm. I'm going to give y'all an example real quick. A quick example of what I mean by this. Let's take Tyler Perry, for example. Let's use his situation. Let me make this a long story short. Tyler Perry, before he became who he is, this man was homeless. Before this man was homeless, this man went through molestation in his own home. This man had so much pain in his life, walked through so many storms. People looked down on this man because he couldn't afford certain things. When he went to school, they bullied him. If you go watch the documentary right now on Amazon Prime, about it's called Maxine's Baby or something like that, the Tyler Perry documentary, he talks about these things. This man was bullied, laughed at, and some more stuff. And he had to find comfort in making up these voices to keep him sane. But this man, when he got older, was homeless, sleeping in his car in the cold and all that, but he didn't give up. That's walking through a storm and having a purpose. It's hard to be homeless, sleeping in your car, not having nobody to turn to for help, for money to eat or anything like that. That is a hard life. But this man did not give up. He kept going. See, God had a bigger purpose for him. So this is what I'm trying to tell you about yourself. Don't be so quick to judge others, because that same person that you judge might turn out to be somebody who ends up being somebody. You might see them on TV tomorrow, or they might sit there and they might help out your child. You never know what type of purpose or what type of lane this person's going to walk. But if you keep on judging them, or you keep judging somebody else, then you're going to stay stuck. Because when you're judging somebody else, God don't bless you. God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have heard plenty of times that God don't like ugly. God does not like ugly. When you're looking down on other people, God is watching you. So the more that you judge somebody else, the more that you sit there and laugh at somebody else, the more that you have something to say, or the more that you're worried about somebody else's situation instead of focusing on your own, God is watching every move that you make. And as you continuing on and you're trying to get ahead in life, you're wondering, why am I always stuck in this one spot? It seems like I'm working hard. I'm at my job and I'm working, but I can't get a promotion. I'm doing this and I can't get this. I saved up money, but I still can't afford this. Like all these different things that you're trying to figure out about why you're not getting ahead, or why nothing's happening for you. It's because God is keeping you stuck, because he's not happy with the way that you are living your life. He's not happy with the fact that you are judging others. You don't know nobody's situation. We're all God's children. It don't matter. We all make mistakes in life. Nobody's perfect. You don't know what caused somebody to get to where they're at because you don't know their story. You have to focus on walking in your own path and trying to figure out exactly what path you were set to go to in order to achieve something, in order to do what God put you here to do, to achieve your purpose. That's what you're supposed to be focused on. And then once you get there, you need to figure out how to use your success and your purpose that God gave you to change other lives. But how can you do that if you're too busy worrying about other people or you're too busy looking down on other people? Anybody that I know right now, anybody that I know right now, friends, associates, anybody that's in, let's just put it this way, anybody that's in my life that's within my circle, or anybody that's in my life that I even try to get close to, or I speak to right now that has looked down on other people in a lot of ways, they are not doing too well right now. They're not doing too well. They're stuck. They're not doing too well in life right now. They're not happy with their lives. They're complaining and some more stuff. Because, like I said, God doesn't like ugly. You call yourself a Christian. You're supposed to uplift people. You're supposed to spread love. Even when your day isn't good, you're supposed to try to make somebody else's day. You're supposed to help uplift. You're not doing God's work, or you're not being a real Christian if you're sitting there and looking down on somebody else because of the littlest things that they have going on. How can you judge somebody you don't know them? Even if you know them, why are you judging them? Like I said, that means that you have an insecurity within yourself. You have an insecurity within yourself. You think that by sitting there and laughing at people or sitting there and saying stuff about people, it's going to make you feel better about yourself. No, it's not. Because it's just like when somebody sit there and they do drugs, they do this and they do that. They think that's going to help them to cope. But in the end of the day, when that drug went off, they still stuck in reality that their life is still where it's at. So they have to continue to keep on doing drugs again and again to try to keep their mind off of reality. It's the same thing with people who judge other people. They gotta keep on sitting there and knocking somebody else down because they feel like if they keep doing that, it's gonna make them feel better about themselves. But it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. But I'll tell you this. If you try to help other people and spend more time on trying to be positive, spend more time on trying to focus on what God wants you to do, I can guarantee you that your situation will change. It will change faster. It will be way more better. Way more better. If you sit there and you try to make a difference in somebody else's life. If you do God's work, if you focus on more things that God wants you to do, I'm trying to tell y'all, your situation will change. You will watch how your situation will go from being right here to being right here. Like I said, you don't know. Even if you haven't had a situation where your life has been hard, you don't never know. The tables can turn at any moment. It can turn at any moment. You can find yourself in a situation where your life can get hard, and you're going to need somebody's help. You're going to need somebody's help. And when you need somebody's help, you're gonna hope that person doesn't judge you, because if that person judges you when that time comes, then you're gonna be stuck, or you're gonna be hurt, or whatever the case may be. See, there's a such thing as karma. What y'all gotta understand is there's a such thing as karma. And I just was telling somebody this the other day. I believe it was my he like a brother to me. We're not blood, but we might as well have been blood. I was telling him that you get back what you put in the universe. So you got to understand, karma is real and energy is real. So the energy that you put in this universe, it gets reciprocated back to you. So if you're being negative to others, you're going to get that negativity back. We might not get it back in the same way, but it will come back your way. You have to understand that. What you put into this world, it comes back to you. Let's say I was telling my friend, I was like, you know what? I know why I survived so many surgeries. I know why I'm still here. I know why I survived the streets. See, the thing about it is, yes, I had to go through all these hardships when it comes down to my health. I'm still fighting till this day with my life when it comes down to my health. But I am still here. I am doing well. Do you know why? It's simple. Because I don't put bad things into the universe. God is pleased with the things that I do. I spent most of my life, even though I was doing wrong, being positive to others or trying to spread positivity. Even when I was in the streets, I was considerate of others. I gave money to people. I didn't look down on the homeless. I didn't look down on other people. I tried to help people. I talked to people. I did different things. When I got out the streets, I remained positive when I changed my life. I was always a positive person trying to do positive in some type of way. And God was very pleased because I was doing so much positivity and spreading so much light and life and talking and trying to help uplift others that were in my circle, and I try to help change their lives or to help them to better themselves. Guess what God did for me? God's way of returning that to me and a blessing was God has spared my life so many times when I had these surgeries. And that's because of the fact that what I have given and I have put out into the universe, God gave it back to me full circle by giving me the gift of life and the gift of health. You have to understand what you do for other people can come back on you one day. You never know. God is watching your every move. So if you're putting negativity into the universe, you're going to get it back. You're going to be stuck in life. But if you're doing good and you're helping to uplift others, you're doing better and you're doing good things in life, God is going to change your situation. You never know. When you need God the most, he's going to change and he's going to bless you. So you have to understand. Stop judging others. Because judging others is not doing nothing but putting negativity into this world. And we all know where negativity comes from. That's the devil work. If you're being negative, you're doing the devil's work. You're not doing God's work. That's the devil's work. And as you're doing the devil's work, you're helping him to become more powerful. And you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be helping God and focused on God. So don't sit there and try to sit there. And then another thing, if you're a Christian, don't sit there and say you're a Christian if you're going to be judging others, because that is not what Christians do. Real Christians love people regardless of their situation. Real Christians try to help people regardless of their situation. They don't look down on others. So don't be out here calling yourself a Christian if you're not really out here trying to help and uplift others. If you worried or so concerned about somebody's situation and you're that pressed to try to get in their business, ask them what their story is. And maybe when they're done telling you their story, maybe you could try to figure out how you can help them. Maybe you have exactly what is needed at that moment to help that person in life.
No, don't do that.
See, if we spend more time trying to help each other, we all could be in better places in life. The world would be so much of a way better place if we all spent more time loving each other, helping uplift each other, or trying to do for others. The world wouldn't be such a bad place. But instead, we're stuck with the way the world is now. But it doesn't have to stay that way. We can change it.
Yeah.
Just like they said I believe the movie was called Notorious. Notorious. Yeah, Notorious. Just like he said it. He said, let's change the world. And then he said, we can't change the world unless we change ourselves. You have to, it starts with self. You can't change nobody else if you're still stuck being a negative person. You can't give positivity, you can't put positivity into the world or put positivity into others if you're still being a negative person. The only way to change somebody else's situation or the only way to do better in life or to get better in life is to change your own situation first. Like I said, stop using your misery to make somebody else miserable. Try to turn your misery into happiness. Start doing better and making better choices. And then maybe your life wouldn't be stuck in one spot. Maybe your life wouldn't be so bad. Maybe you wouldn't have to talk down on somebody else. God did not put us here to talk down and hurt others. God put us here to be successful, to be happy, to love. That's why we have we have the freedom of speech. That's why God gave us the freedom to be who we are. There's reasons why. God wanted us to live our life and be happy. God didn't want us to be depressed. He didn't want us to be disappointed. He didn't want us to be hurt. He didn't want us to be upset. God put us here to be happy, to spread love and joy. He already had destroyed the world at one point because he wasn't happy with the world because it was so dark. So he made another one, a world where life was different and life was better. But everybody knows the story already. Everybody already knows how that changed. and the world became a sinful place. It became different ever since. God is not happy with the way the world is right now. With all this negativity going on and all this downplay going on, God is not happy with it. All this sin, he's not happy with the way the world is right now. And that's why there's so many things going on with natural disasters and all kind of other situations, because you have to understand God is coming back to take the world back, because he's not happy with the way the world is. It said it in the Bible. God said he would not flood the world again, because the first time he destroyed the world, he flooded it with water. That's the story about the ark. We all know the story about the ark. How many days and how many nights it rained and everything. He flooded the world. When he did that, he promised. It's in the Bible. Just read the chapter of Genesis. He promised he would not flood the world again, but he never said that if he wasn't happy with the way the world is, when he rebuilds it, that he wouldn't destroy the world. You don't know how much time you have on this earth. Life is not promised tomorrow. You might have lived 40 years. You might have lived 30 years. You might have lived 50 years, but tomorrow is not promised to nobody. Half of your life, you've been doing your life. You've been living your life a certain way. Why are you still here? Focus more on making a difference. Focus more on making a difference in this world, because the difference that you make and the things that you do can change somebody else's life. Focus on trying to make a change and trying to better somebody, and see where your life goes. I'm gonna let my wife talk to y'all. Yeah.
Yes. And always clear your conscience with people as well. You want to make sure you clear your conscience with one another as well. You want to, you know, always make sure you apologize, or, you know, if you did something you didn't mean to do it, apologize about it and let it go. You know, a lot of us, sometimes we hold grudges, we hold stuff in, and we got to be careful with that, because the Bible says to forgive one another, because God can't forgive you, and you haven't even forgave your husband, you haven't even forgave your wife, you haven't even forgave your child. You know, the Bible says if your brother sinned against you, or if your brother did something to you over and over, well, you know, you have to forgive. You have to forgive people. You know, some of us, we trying to repay people. We trying to go against each other. But we got to learn how to we got to stop judging people. We got to stop trying to go against each other. We got to learn how to love each other. I know you may got some things going on with you and your mother, you and your husband, but sometimes sit down. Sit down, talk about it. Baby, look, I know I said something wrong. I apologize. Sometimes I got to tell my husband, yeah, I know I was wrong. I know I made some mistakes. I know I did this. I'm being for real. Sometimes you just got to sit down on your couch, sit down on your bed and talk to them. You know, like I told y'all before, our bedroom is the war room. Sometimes I don't want to talk. And you getting in this room. We gonna talk about it. You know, we ain't gonna be holding no attitude against each other. We don't like to hold attitude with each other when we go to sleep and throughout the day. So what I'm saying to you is this. You gotta make sure you clear your conscience with people and stop trying to judge people. Stop talking about people. You don't know what's going on. You just have to be careful. You know, I tell y'all this. One time, I used to talk about somebody in the past, and God allowed me to see this person again. And let me tell you how this worked out. I needed a job. And guess what? The person helped me get a job. But that's the same person that I was talking about. That's the same person that I was laughing at. And that's the same person helped me get a job. That's the same person that helped me with my application. So we have to understand that God don't want us judging each other. He wants us to pray with each other. The Bible says when 2 or 3 are together in my name, I'm in the midst of it. We have to learn how to pray for each other and uplift each other. Yeah, I'm telling you, you have to learn how to stop judging people. Because you never know who you may need before you leave this earth. You never know who you may need. You never know. Somebody your mother may know will help you get a job. Some of y'all right now need a job. Some of y'all need some help in your life right now. And it's all about who they know to help you get it. So you got to be careful with your words. I know you and your neighbor don't get along together, but you got to learn how to pray for your neighbor. I know your neighbor getting on your nerves, playing all that loud music, being disrespectful. But listen, don't judge them. Say, look, I'm going to tell y'all something. The Bible says don't fight evil with evil. The Bible says fight evil with good. Let me tell you something, you gotta learn how to love people, even though you don't like them. You don't want to be bothered with them. Still love them after they don't treat you wrong. Everything, I don't care. You gotta still love these people. You still have to love them, even though they ain't doing you right. And that's the only thing. That's the only thing I had a problem with when God told me to change. He told me don't judge people, and he also told me don't talk about people. I tell y'all, God really had to change me on the inside and I will always hold things in my heart. And that's what I'm saying to some of y'all. Y'all have to learn how to let it go. What people did and what people said to you, let it go. Life is too short. Your life is a gift. Life is a gift. Your life can be taken away, and you have to learn how to clear your heart. If I have a problem with anybody, I want to make sure my heart is clear. I want to make sure my heart is right. You got to understand, when you go to sleep, you may not wake up the next morning because you holding grudges, you holding pain. You holding all this stuff in you. You have to learn how to let go of the things, You have to learn how to we got Anita in here, y'all. So that's our daughter. Says Ashley, I needed to hear this message. I had a problem with others treating me. I needed to hear this today. Yes. I'm going to tell you something, Miss Letitia. The reason why people treat us mean and treat us, so disrespectful, because they jealous. It's your spirit they don't like. And let me tell you, the spirit of God, a lot of people don't like it. Because, listen, God reveals the truth of people. That's why a lot of people don't like to look at people's eyes, and they don't like because the way God is, it's amazing how God is. Because I remember when I changed my life around, and when God was changing me, people didn't like to look at me in my face, because they knew the things that I say, or the things that I knew, I just knew it. I just knew, because God told me. So what I'm saying is, we just have to learn how to stop judging one another, and learn how to forgive each other, and let God do the rest. It's just important that we work with our brother, we work with our sister. That's my 3-year-old. She's silly, y'all, but she's okay. But you right, Miss Letitia. As you grow with Jesus, and I'm gonna tell y'all this: as I had grew with Jesus as well, some of my family, I knew some of it was fake. My own family judged me. My own family talked about me. My own family told me I was retarded, and I forgave them, even though they called me names and called me stupid and all this. And it can be hard to forgive. I'm gonna be honest with you, it can be hard to forgive, but you gotta listen. The reason why we have to forgive, in order for us to move forward, we have to make sure we clear. That's why some of y'all, listen, that's why some of y'all not married. That's why some of y'all not where you at, because you got to clear your conscience with people. You got to clear your thoughts. You got to clear your conscience. You got to clear your insides. That's why God have you single. God have you single for 2 years. Maybe God wants you single for 5 years, because I got to purify you. I have to work with you on the inside. That's why God have you single right now. God have you single. I'm speaking to somebody on here. You actually single right now.
Mommy, Daddy.
You actually single right now. If you actually pray and you give yourself to God, God will allow you to get married. He will allow you to get married at the right time. I can't even give you a number. You got to clear yourself first. You got to make sure you clear. God can't do nothing with you, and your conscience and stuff is nasty. Some of y'all judging your sisters, your brothers, and all of this stuff, and judging them, and all of this. It's crazy. You got to learn how to stop it. Sometimes you gotta be the person to cut it off. I'm not gonna talk about them no more. They don't want to talk to me. Okay, well, I'll wait till they reach out to me. I'll wait till they reach out to me. I'm gonna just be the bigger person. I'm not gonna go back and forth. I'm not gonna keep texting them and talking about them. Sometimes you gotta be the bigger person. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be the bigger person. Sometimes you gotta be the person. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, sis? I'm just calling you, check on you. You know, you was on my mind. I'm thinking about you. Sometimes you got to be the person that called them. You got to be the person that be big. Don't think the way they thinking about you. Sometimes you got to be big headed and say, you know what? Let me be the bigger person. Let me not be the snake, but let me be the bigger person, and let me try to see if this is gonna work out the way that God's saying. And pray about it. You got issues and stuff with your family members, your sister, whoever it is. Talk to God and say, God, look, I need you to help me. Help me. I've been one time, and it's the truth. I've been one time, me and my sister couldn't talk. We couldn't talk because there was some lies going on. And she said, you know what, I ain't say that. And it's just stuff twisted. And family know how to twist stuff around and make things seem so real. You gotta be careful with family members, because family members they know how to twist them stories and mess it up and lie on you and all this stuff. But we just have to be careful. We have to be careful with our mouth. We have to be careful with our thoughts as well. You know, whatever you thinking about doing to each other and all of this stuff, let it go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, being behind bars. It's not worth it, wasting your life, wasting your time over something that you could have gave it to God. I always tell, my son, always think about the things that you do, because sometimes he plays so much and he break things. And I say, see, you got to deal with the consequences. You got to deal with the consequences from your actions. So we have to understand. You got to think before you do things. You can't be out here just rolling around, running outside, and doing all of this crazy stuff. Because guess what? Consequences will get you one day. So we just have to be careful. Let's stop judging each other. Let's love one another. Let's work with each other. You see your sister need a job, help her out. Don't judge her. Oh, she got 5, 7 kids. She can't take care. Let me help her out. Let me help her claim her children. Let me help her. And give her money too. Don't take her all her money. Those are her kids. Give her money. So we have to be careful, okay? And work with each other. Stop working against people and love one another, because God loves you, okay?
Yes. God does love you. Like I said to y'all before. I mean, it's simple. It's very, very simple. You gotta understand that energy is real. The things that you put into this world right now, the type of energy that you put into this world will come back to you in a whole different way. If you're doing positive things, you're uplifting others, you're focused on the purpose that God put you here to do, you're doing better. When you least expect it and you need it the most, that will be returned to you in full circle, whether it's through success, whether it's through health, whether it's through something else. It's given back to you, because God will always bless you for doing what is right in life. But if you're so stuck on looking down on others, or doing negativity, or being negative towards others, then you're going to get negativity in return. You're going to be stuck in one spot. You're not going to get nowhere. If you want to be happy in life, So you have to focus on doing what's right. You have to focus on doing what's right because you never know. The tables could turn at any moment. I'll tell you that. And then you got to understand life. When it comes down to life, tomorrow isn't promised to nobody. Tomorrow isn't promised to nobody at all. Life can change at the blink of an eye. You got to understand. I've said this before. We're living on a clock. Every day that we going through life right now, the clock is ticking. It's just like when you was in school. You used to see them clocks on the wall. The clock goes tick, 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 tick. At a certain point in time, that clock hand stops moving. Okay, at a certain point in time, that clock hand is done. Them batteries die. It's the same thing with a phone right now. It's the same thing with a phone. Come on, Nita. It's the same thing with a phone right now. Like at a certain point in time, that ends. You gotta understand, like it all changes at some point. Like everything changes at some point. It can change at any moment. You have to understand tomorrow is not promised. Like I said, you're living on a clock. It's ticking every day. Every day is ticking. Tick, 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 tick. So, like I said, at a certain point in time, if your phone battery's on green, at a certain point in time, your phone battery's gonna go on red. And once it's in a red, what happens? The screen goes black. So if you're doing negativity and God doesn't like what you're doing, God is going to give you a wake-up call at a certain point in time. God is going to do something at a certain point in time about that because God doesn't like ugly. You gotta understand, God don't like ugly at all. So at a certain point in time, God is going to change something. So you have to be very careful about the things that you do to others. You have to be very careful about the things that you say to others because what you do right now to somebody could impact tomorrow in their life. What you say to somebody could change their situation tomorrow in life. Like I said before, the mouth is a powerful weapon. It's a powerful weapon. And I'm going to keep on saying that until I get off this live. The mouth is a powerful weapon. You have to be very careful about the things that you say out your mouth because you never know what it's going to cause. You might say tomorrow, oh, you keep on going, you keep on acting that way, you're going to die. This is going to happen this way. And then something happens to that person tomorrow. They don't wake up and then you're sitting there, you're looking crazy and you're thinking like, wow, like I was just talking to them yesterday and this happened yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And now look at what happened today. You have to be very careful. You have to be because that could change at any moment. You know, you have to be careful with that. You have to be very careful about the things that's going on and the things that you're doing and the things that you're saying to somebody else. Because like I said, it can impact their lives. Don't judge others. Uplift others. Spread love. Spread joy. Life is too short to be stressing. Life is too short to judge others. Life is too short to worry about the next person, what they got going on. Focus on your life. Do what's best for you. Help change somebody else's life. Focus on doing the things that God put you here to do. Because when your time is up and that clock is done ticking, or that battery that's in that phone, or like I said, that battery dies and it's like, shoo. When that happens, God is going to ask you, what did you do with the talents that I gave you? God is going to ask you what you did with your life. How did you use what God put you here to do to help somebody else? You don't want to be stuck. When it's your time, when you get up there with God, you want to be able to be accepted into them gates. And you want God to say, I am very pleased with you. I am very happy with the things that you have done. You want God to be able to say that to you. You don't want God to sit there and have to ask you over and over again, or when you say certain things, God will say, well, that's not what I put you here to do. Because you got to understand, before you get into them gates, you have to face your maker. You have to face God. You have to face him. It don't matter. You cannot maneuver your way into heaven. I don't care how many times you pray per day. I don't care how many things you do or how Christian you are. That don't always mean you're going to heaven. Because in the end of the day, before you get to heaven, you have to face God. You have to. You have to answer to him first. Only God can judge you. Only God can judge you. Only God can determine where your life is going to go and how you're going to spend the rest of your eternity. Because right now, we're only here temporarily. You're living in a shell right now. At a certain point in time, when that battery runs out and that clock stops ticking, your spirit leaves the shell and you go on somewhere else. You continue on in life, but your body stays present here on earth. Okay? So when that time comes, you have to be ready to face God. And when you face God, you don't want to face God and be ashamed. You want to be able to face God and feel like you're happy with the things that you've done in your life. Not for him, but for yourself. For yourself. Because you don't want to go, you don't want to leave this earth feeling miserable. You don't want to spend your last moments or your last breath saying, I wish I would have did this, or I should have done this, or why I didn't do this. You want to be happy. So focus on that. You gotta understand that you cannot judge others. Focus on doing better in life. Because like I said, tomorrow isn't promised. Tomorrow isn't promised. Nothing is promised. And you don't know how much time you're going to have. And anything could change at any moment. Be thankful for what you have. Appreciate others. Spread love and joy to others. You see, just like my daughter running around singing right now, making me happy, just singing. Singing sometimes, just those little words make me happy. That's joy and happiness right there. The littlest things is what matters in life. Okay? Stop worrying about the bigger things. Worry about the little things in life. Appreciate the little things. You have to appreciate the little things in order to appreciate the big things. You got to go through something first in order to achieve something next. Okay, now I say that again. You have to go through something first in order to achieve something next. So, my name is, just remember, like I said, the energy that you put into this world, it'll come back to you. The energy that you put into this world, it'll come back to you. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to remember that. And then I also want you to remember, be careful who you judge or how you judge somebody else, because the things that you say could change somebody's situation. I want y'all to also remember that. Okay? I want to thank y'all for joining in this live. I'm conscious. Those of y'all that don't know me, I'm conscious. For those of y'all that know me, I'm conscious. Go back, like this video. If you ain't subscribed to my wife's channel, please subscribe. Go check out her community post. Continue to support. We appreciate y'all for supporting her. And we appreciate, the love that y'all give to us. We see the love. We see y'all comments all the time. I'm going to let my wife talk to y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Okay, I'm going to leave y'all with a few Bible verses. Okay? We're having a little situation, our daughter. But I'm going to leave y'all with these couple of Bible verses that y'all can go back and read. Y'all can also read Psalms 34 and 18. It says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescued those whose spirit are crushed. So if your spirit is crushed, you can go to God, and God will fix your spirit. So go back and read Psalms 34 and 18. You can also read Psalms 138 and 3. And it says, as soon as I pray, you answer me. You encourage me by giving me strength. So if you need strength, you need energy, you need to read Psalms 138 and 3. It says, as soon as I pray, you answer me, you encourage me by giving me strength. That's for you, Miss Letitia. Write down Psalms 138 and 3, and write down Psalms 34 and 18. If you have a broken heart, you shall go to God, and God will clear you up. We all did something, and it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. This is a new year. It's a new start. It's time to start new in Jesus. So I love you all. Have a great, beautiful day. May God bless you. May God keep you. Stay blessed. Thank you for watching. Don't give up. Pray about all things. Stay blessed.